internet safety has changed a lot over the years. I have been teaching this since probably 2000, and when the big thing was worrying about your kids' online pornography and some of the other different things that were out there. Now it's a different world. Now it's a different world. Is there still pornography out there? Yes. But there's a lot of other things coming at them that are, in my opinion, a lot more dangerous because it can affect them physically, it can affect them mentally, it can kill them. Okay? We'll start with the worst, and I want to get you guys in the right frame of mind for what this whole topic. This is Casey. Casey Woody was a typical 12-year-old. You know, she was in the band at school. She lived in a small town in Arkansas. Her dad was a police officer. He was a street cop. He worked evening shift. Mom got cancer, mom died. Casey was having a little trouble dealing with it, so she went into one of the Christian chat rooms to find some people that she could talk to about it. There she met David. David's aunt was in the hospital. She was going through kind of the same thing. She was going in and out of comas and was on her way down. And they talked a lot. They talked for like 6 months. They became very good friends. He knew her friends knew him. Okay? I mean, they talked like people do when they get close. Only problem was David wasn't David. David was actually Donald, a predator from San Diego. Donald became so enamored with Casey, he actually drove from California to Arkansas, where he kidnapped her. I mean, he knew everything about her. He knew Dad's shift. He knew her brother's shift at work. He knew when she got home from school, everything that they had shared. Brother comes home, house is in disarray, tries to find her, eventually calls Dad. Dad did probably what every one of you would do. Start calling friends, start going to the places that she hangs out, right? Seeing if he could find her. Well, that took like an hour and a half. Wasn't until he gets through all that he decides, okay, maybe we should start going up a few notches on this. Start checking with the neighbors and things. Neighbor tells him there was a white van there at one point. It was there for about 20, 30 minutes and then it left the house. He puts out a bolo, be on the lookout for. And like I said, it's a small town, so they start looking. They eventually find the van at a storage facility. Officers start to approach the van. Shot rings out. Officers back up, regroup, eventually go to the van. In the back of the van, they find Mr. Fagan, Donald, with a self-inflicted gunshot. When they opened the back of the van, they found Casey. She had been raped, tortured, and strangled to death. It can happen anywhere. It can happen in St. Pete. It can happen in Pinellas Park. It can even happen in Gulfport. There is no place on earth that is safe unless you prepare your kid properly. Okay? Give you an idea. Mr. Greco here, until he was arrested by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office a couple of years ago, was a teacher at Seminole High School. Okay? There's another one from St. Petersburg High School. It's in our backyard. It's in our backyard. So we have to, as parents, start becoming detectives. We have to take an active role, because law enforcement can't do it. Law enforcement, anybody care to guess how many cyber detectives we have? I'm actually not a cyber detective at our department. So I don't even count. My job is business security. How many do you think we have?
4.
4.
Yeah, 2.
2.
0.
0. We're a little better than that.
1.
We have 1. The Sheriff's Department, being a bigger agency, has twice as many as us. We have 2. How much time do you think that detective has to work on these cases? Not a lot. Most of his time, from what I understand, is being dealt with online fraud. Craigslist, eBay, all. Anybody know what that means? And I don't mean Lou Gehrig's disease. Anybody? When you're dealing with kids, when you're dealing with chat rooms, and chat rooms have changed too, because it's not just chat rooms, they can chat anything, can't they? They go into their PS4, there's chat features to it. They go into Minecraft, there's a chat portion to it. That one's really good, but it's still there. ALS, age, location, sex. That's one of the first things that you see when you go into a chat room. That's one of the first things that people will ask you when you are new to the chat room. I want to know how old you are and where you're at. From there, I can start doing some things. When we think about the online predator, most of us, when we think about, child predators, we have a picture in our head. I mean, usually it's the guy who's been in jail, tons of John, the one from years ago. That's what we kind of think of. Forget it. When you're talking about online predators, until we arrest them, most of these people have had 0 contact with the police. Nothing. They're usually professionals. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, cops. Any profession where people kind of make a living talking or convincing others, real estate agents, anybody, okay? They're above average intelligence. They are very good conversation. These are the guys that we say could sell an Eskimo ice cubes, okay? Talking about these type of kids, 11 to 14 is the ideal age. Unlike a regular predator, a face-to-face one, the ones that you think about meeting the kids at the park. Unlike them, okay, most of these guys are looking for girls. In the face-to-face ones, it's about 50-50 girls and boys. Online, it's about 90-95% of the victims are female, 11 to 14 years old. What's happening to a young girl at that time?
Developing.
Huh? She's developing. What do we call it? Puberty. What happens to a girl during puberty? Or even a guy? You start changing. You start changing your attitudes. You start changing how you think. A lot of your insecurities start coming to the surface, right? Am I pretty? Is my hair nice? Oh my God, do I have zits? Okay. 57 years old, I still say that. But all these different things, and also relationships start to strain too. They become a little bit more argumentative with the parents, right? My kids are older now. I don't know how they made it through puberty without being buried in my backyard. Because they were like that type of personalities. Turns it to his advantage. You're not getting along though? Well, we could have fun. I would never treat you like that. I think you're an adult. I think you need to be treated like an adult. You should come to me. We'll have fun. And you'll have a good time. I can't believe that they did that to you. You're so beautiful. Every chance he gets, he's going to reinforce things to him. He is a spider. He is pulling them into his web. They're looking for a couple of different things. Little or no parental involvement. How do you do that? How does the bad guy do that? He asks questions. Simple questions. He doesn't say, hey, you really involved with your parents? No. He says simple things like, Stephanie, I'm online working Stephanie, trying to groom her. Stephanie, I've got to work late tomorrow. I'm not going to get home till late. Hey, do you think you could get online and chat with me about 11:30, quarter to 12 at night? Because I really would like to talk to you, because it really does make my day to be able to talk to you. You are so smart and so sweet. If she says yes, now I know nobody's watching her at night, and she can get on the computer at night. I've also reinforced you're beautiful. I'm building her up. I'm breaking down any kind of barriers. A week later, I'll do the same thing. I've got to go to work early. Think you could get up at maybe about 6:30? I'm going to have a really bad day, and it'll just be so much better if I can talk to you first. Everything he does is to build her confidence and make her believe in him. Now I know, nobody's watching you early or late. Anyway at all. I'm looking for those self-esteem issues, like I said. Doing whatever I can. Okay? No matter what they're doing, no matter what the venue, no matter how they're doing it, predators still use two things to get to you. Your social network and chat rooms. They've got to talk to you. They've got to talk to you. We make it so easy with our social networking. Okay? We make it so easy. We tell them all about us, don't we? Years ago, like I said, I've been teaching this for a long time. Years ago, the bad boy was, anybody even remember MySpace? They asked the most intimate questions, and kids always answered it. They were the best place in the world if you were a predator. But now we do the same thing on Facebook, we do it on Snapchat, we do it on everything, all the social networks we're involved with. We give them information. Where do you go to school? Sure, Preston. Do you work? Where do you work? We provide so much information. We give them the background that they need for the grooming process. That's breaking them down. Seeing how far they can go. For these guys, it's a numbers game, okay? It all starts out very innocently. They will lurk, they will do their homework, they will start checking social networks to see who you are. Remember, for most networks and things, your email address is your username. So if I run your email address, I can usually pull up your accounts. Google's a wonderful thing for some of us, okay? I can find out everything about you. I know what you like, what you don't like. If you know about skateboards, I'm gonna quickly learn about skateboards, and I'm gonna know about it. I don't know anything about skateboards, but they will. Then they're gonna start to flirt. We all very innocently, it can be, oh, you look extremely beautiful today, especially if they've got a webcam. Oh my God, that's one sexy outfit. You look so grown up in that. Very innocently. But as we go along, it gets a little bit deeper. The questions that they say will become a little bit more explicit. And they start to swap photos. They may ask for photos. Then I've got you for sure. Okay? Eventually, it's going to move to the phone. Eventually, it'll move to the phone, away from the texting. What does that do for the predator? Huh? Location with the phone, yeah. What else? What else does being able to do it on the phone give him?
More privacy.
More privacy. When he's sitting there typing things and you're texting back and forth with most areas, there's a record. There's a server somewhere that I can subpoena and I can get a record of that. When it's a phone call, I don't have any idea what's said. And a lot of times, what you say on the phone might be legal. If you said the exact same thing typing it down on the computer, it would be illegal. Eventually it gets to the last point, let's meet. Let's meet. And I'm still working it. I'm still working it. Stephanie, I really want to get together, but since we've never met, I want you to feel comfortable with me. Tell you what, why don't we meet at the mall? We'll meet at the food court because there's lots of people around there and we can get something to eat and just talk. Make you feel at ease. Great. You sit there, remember, this person is a skilled conversationalist. So he's going to talk to you for about 30 minutes. Make you feel comfortable. Make you believe that this is really the person he is. The one that you believe he is on the chat. I'm getting kind of tired of sitting here. Do you want to we'll just walk around the mall, maybe look at some stores. Maybe I can, if you find something, maybe I can get you something, a present or something, so you'll remember our first meeting. Because I want to be important in your life, and I want you to remember that. You feel comfortable. Are you likely to get up now? Yeah. I've now moved from a public area to a semi-private. Because think about it, as you're walking through a mall, people look at you, but how long are they looking at you? A second or two as they're walking past? It's not like the food court where people are sitting there for 30 minutes also watching you. So I'm still putting you at ease. I might even buy you that person. Now it gets to the point, it's an hour, 2 hours later. I gotta get going. I really don't want this to end. Would you walk me out? Boom. Yes, I'll walk you out to your car, sure. Once he gets you there, now you've gone private. Now it can either be something with force, though most of the time it doesn't involve force. Most of the time it is basically an older person taking advantage of a younger person, using their power and their maturity to get them to think that they are submitting to it. Okay? Is it still illegal? You mentioned. Some of the things I want you to start looking for. Remember, you're the cop. Start making sure that your kid's not getting gifts. They will do that. They will send them a burner phone. Oh, I don't have a cell phone. I'll send you one. Wait, maybe I can deliver it to you at school. Maybe I can drop it off here. The good thing for you is most of the kids at this age aren't that good at hiding things. They're not as adept at deleting, they forget things. Which is good for you. So look for those things. Anybody want to try that one? I'll give you the first word and that'll tell you. Love.
Love you with all my heart.
There you go. Love you with all my heart. You got to kind of learn this language. It's kind of like that old commercial that T-Mobile where all they talk is in the shorthand. You've got to learn this shorthand. You've got to learn this shorthand. Mostly what I talk about though, and getting back, the one thing I want you to think about on the predators is we're seeing a change. We're seeing a change. We're seeing the same techniques being used by human traffickers. So they're not as nice. All they want to do is get you someplace and then grab you. Okay? Human trafficking worldwide, it's the #2 industry in the world. How they interact with the social network. Top 4 social networks. Facebook, right? Who has a Facebook account? Well, who doesn't have a Facebook account? A few of you. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. How many of you your children have accounts in any of those? Yeah. Okay. Most of them are probably Instagram, right? Yeah. Or Snapchat. When I do this presentation for the kids, they go, no, we don't have Facebook. That's for old people. Wow. Okay. mention that MySpace thing, and they go, "What's that?" So things have changed. Things have changed. But real quickly, talk about that because I don't have it in here, but a lot of parents come to me and say, "Pokemon Go, oh my God, that's so dangerous." We thought it was going to be at first, and we're not finding that. We're not finding it. Being paranoid cops and always thinking bad things, we always think, "Oh my God, they're going to drop a lure, they're going to pull the kids in, and they're going to snatch them all and go." The thing that we've found is when they drop the lure, it's not just the kids that are showing up, it's the 200 other people. Yeah, all right, there's a gym near here too. Okay, so, and we're finding that most of the kids that are doing it in groups. Even those that we classify as having self-esteem issues, there's usually 3 of them. Probably every craft beer place has a lure somewhere near it. It's great, but you go a couple blocks off of some of those places, and you're in pretty rough areas. That's what we're seeing is just by following that, they're ending up in places that they shouldn't be, and they're getting bugged and that kind of stuff. So that's what you have to tell them. You don't go to areas if you don't know it. Average kid or child, between their social networks, will have more than 300 friends. I've been doing this for 32 years. I really couldn't tell you that I know 300 people. I'm looking at some of these faces that are going, "Okay, I've got 3,000 friends on Facebook." That's great, but when we're talking about the kids, they need to know the person. Not, "I'm a friend of a friend of a friend." They need to physically know. We're finding that parents historically have done a great job teaching stranger danger. Okay, they know don't go off with the person in the park who says, "Can you help me find my puppy?" But they're not really doing that when it comes to online. They're not teaching them the same safety. And a lot of it is the same. Parents don't realize what they should be saying. Same thing you tell them for the real world. You just kind of expand it. This will give you kind of an idea. Some of you may have seen this before, but
what's up, guys? I'm Kobe Person. How easy is it for a pedophile to pick up an underage child using social media? Well, today we're going to find that out. I made a fake profile on Facebook posing as a 15-year-old boy. With the parents' permission, I friend requested 3 girls ages 14, 13, and 12 years old. I've been talking to these girls for the last 3 or 4 days, and today we're supposed to meet up. What we found in this video is shocking and something everyone should see. Be sure to watch until the end and use what we've learned in this video to better educate your friends and family. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This first girl, her name is Michaela. She's 13 years old. We've been talking on Facebook for the last couple of days, and we're supposed to meet up at the park later when her parents leave the house. I'm just waiting right now to get the text that her parents have left the house. So I just got a text. My parents just left. I can be at the park in 10 minutes. We're gonna go see if she comes in 10 minutes. We're gonna go right now, set up all the cameras, and just be waiting there for her. So she said she's gonna meet me at the park playground. So this is the closest to her house, she said. So right now I'm texting her that I just got here. All right, I'll just wait, see what she says. She said, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Oh, she's coming, yeah. Michaela? From Facebook. Remember?
Michaela, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? These ones that could have been accounted for. How would you do this?
Yeah, you know that. I could have been anyone. Like you talked to me for the last 4 days. You've been talking to me on Facebook. Do you know that? Like, you shouldn't talk to strangers, especially online. Like, I wasn't even do I look the same as my picture? It could be even worse than that.
You realize how scary this could have been?
Okay, I've done this, I've done things like this where we've had kids in some of our cop people where they left the kids alone in the store and the kid ends up just walking off with the stranger. It can happen. You've got to constantly be reinforcing that this is real. We don't want them to be scared. You don't want your child to be panicking. But we do want to teach our children about safety, okay, and how to think for themselves. Okay. Anybody here ever heard of geotagging? For those of you who haven't, who here has a iPhone? Who here has an Android? Who here anybody got a phone that you actually have to flip open still? If you have a smartphone and you take a picture with it, and your location is on, inside the metadata of that photo, inside the ones and the zeros of that photo, is the exact longitude and latitude of where that picture was taken. You can change the file name, you can do all, it doesn't affect it. The exact longitude and latitude. So when you take that picture of your child sitting there in their bedroom or in the backyard, click and upload it to your Facebook page, I know where that child is, within 3 feet. I use a browser called Mozilla Firefox. Some of you may use it, I don't know, or you work Chrome, they also have it. But there are add-ons that you can get to it free. That I can right-click on a picture and I can pull up that metadata and it'll give me the exact longitude and latitude of that picture. If I don't know where that is, I can click on another button and it will pull up a Google map of exactly where that is. And give me directions if I want. Okay? Every time you do this, it will post that information. You've got to make sure that that location is off. If you've got an iPhone, it's very simple. I love this. The one thing I do love about the iPhone is that for this type of thing, when you go into the settings, you can choose which program you want to have access to location and which that you don't. So if you unclick camera, it will block out that metadata. Okay, so the longitude and latitude will not be put in. With the Android, it's a little different. You've actually got to go into the camera app to do it. Depending on what version of Android you have, some of them, when it comes to location, it's an all or nothing. You turn on the location, you turn off. It doesn't give you the option of doing certain things. If you've got a newer phone, it does. Okay, that's why you do it from the camera app. But turn it off. Make sure that it is off. Let me show you how dangerous it can be. This is from a couple of years ago.
Well, if you've got a smartphone and even once posted an online picture, you need to know about a new threat.
This is something new technology can allow hackers to track down you and your kids, even from a simple email press.
Mark and Elizabeth, the technology allows strangers to cherry pick from online pictures posted all over the web and then find the home, work, or even school of that person in the pic.
Perfect, just like that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good girl.
We gave NBC Action News staffer Suzanne McDonald and daughter Lainey a smartphone.
And a big smile towards mommy's face. Yeah.
To see just how threatening a seemingly innocent snapshot
Beautiful.
could be once loaded online.
That's frightening.
We then combed Twitter and sites like Facebook, Craigslist, and Photobucket, searching for locals. We found a menu of nearby children, and with the click of a mouse, their locations.
That is legitimately terrifying.
It's a new and frightening threat to parents.
So we right-click, then we hit that data file, catch the program.
And the full threat is even an unknown to many internet crime experts.
Had you ever seen it go this far before?
No.
Instagram is probably their number one use right now. The kids love this thing. you're uploading pictures, you're doing all this, okay? If you ever want, who here, any of you guys have an Instagram account? If you want an education, if you don't have one, get an Instagram account. For those that do, go on and put in those search. Put in that for a search. Insta porn, Insta sex, any of those things. You'll get about 250,000 images, most of them nude females. Use the privacy settings. 2 things I want you to do, just 2 things to remember about Instagram. Go into it, they have a location share feature. They say if you turn it off, even if there is metadata in those pictures, they hide it so nobody can get it. Do that, okay? The other thing is, when your kids have a profile, change the profile picture to something other than them. I don't care if it's the dog, if it's the cat, if it's, well, because of what it is, if it's the Starship Enterprise, okay? Because it was their anniversary. Change it to something that's not them. We know how the predators do their homework, right? They run their names, they run them in all of these things. We don't want to give them access to what they look like and make it really easy for them, okay? Kick is usually used in conjunction with Instagram. Here's what I'm going to tell you about Kick. Check your kids' phones, check their tablets. If this app is on there, delete it immediately. That's all I'm going to say. If this app is on there, delete it. Kick is a text messaging program or app. It is the company considers themselves a tunnel, meaning that there are no real servers involved. Nothing is stored anywhere. So you know how I said we can go back to some of the ISPs and with a subpoena get the chat messages and all of that? Not with Kick. Most of you guys probably have one too. Snapchat lets you delete it. 10 seconds or less, it will automatically delete. Does it? No. The kids know this, that a screen, you can take a screenshot of whatever they send, a picture or whatever. They know it, but they do it anyway. You've got to make sure that they understand it. I mean, it's 2 buttons on your, okay? I've got a Galaxy. It's this. That's it. A hand swipe. And I've got a screenshot. How bad can it get? This one was last year. Pinellas County, the Dunedin teen was arrested by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Girl sent him a picture, kind of a nude picture, through Snapchat, expecting it to delete in a few seconds. He did that and made a screenshot of it. Told her, if you don't send me more pictures, I will post this picture everywhere. I will ruin you. Everybody will think you're a whore, you know, whatever. And it will just destroy your life if you don't send me more pictures. She went to her mom, thankfully, who went to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, who promptly arrested the kid. What are they arresting for? Extortion. Had nothing to do with the pictures, had nothing to do with the online stuff. They arrested him for blackmail. This is one that to me, of all the things that we've talked about, this one is the most important for you to pay attention to. If you run into one of the situations where your child just stops using the phone or tablet, or they get jumpy when that ding goes off because they've got a message, that should be the biggest red flag that you've ever seen. This, to me, like I said, is the most important for you. Because this one, we're seeing such a spike in the number of kids committing suicide as a result of cyberbullying. I mean, it's things that we never dealt with as parents. I mean, anybody here ever get bullied in school back when? It wasn't 100 people, 500, 1,000 people relentlessly saying things to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If somebody is constantly telling you these things, eventually it becomes overwhelming for you, especially at that age, okay? This is where it starts to go. This is as it spirals. Frustration, using the computer, and that one down there, withdrew from friends. The most important thing for you in cyberbullying, get that kid talking. I don't care if they talk to you, I don't care if they talk to clergy, somebody at the school, I don't care. But if they don't talk to somebody, the chances of them committing suicide go up tenfold. Because they think there is no other way out of this problem. It is devastating. It is devastating. If your kids become a victim of it, okay, please don't delete anything. It's called evidence. We need it, okay? Save it. You can block the people. Sometimes, like I said, when you're talking about 100, 200, 500 people, it's kind of difficult, okay? But contact us. Understand also that when you contact us, we're going to take the phone. We need to be able to use different type of trace tools on it. It is evidence. So you will lose the phone for a little while. Okay? That bothers some kids and parents more than anything else. Well, parents, because the kids are like that. Here we go. Sexting, we know that sending pictures electronically. Is it a crime? Yeah, but it ain't what it used to be. It used to be a very serious crime for kids. Now it's not, thanks to our legislature. They've changed the Florida law. Your first offense for sending nude pictures of some girl, doesn't matter her age. Doesn't matter her age. First offense. $60 fine. Or they're brought down to the station, we call the parents, they pick them up, they go to court eventually. Big deal. It's not until you are stupid 4 times does it become a felony. 4 times. And now when they say, and when we talk about distribution, that's in a 24-hour period. So if you send out 1 picture or 1,000 pictures, it's once. And if you send it Monday and then you send it Tuesday, you would think it would be the second, but it's not, because it's the first conviction. It's really, really messed up, okay? They really took in the suspects on this one, kind of forgot the victims. This is how bad it can get when we're talking about this stuff.
A very, very serious subject, though. I want to begin this half hour with a beautiful teenager from Ohio and a spur-of-the-moment decision that haunted her until the end. We're going to talk to her grieving mother in just a couple of minutes. But first, here's NBC's Kevin Tibbles.
She was young, pretty, a perfectly normal student, and seemingly had the world by the tail until Jessie Logan made one awful mistake. Her mother, Cynthia.
She snapped. It was just too much for an 18-year-old girl to go through.
A year ago, using her cell phone, she took a nude photo of herself and sent it to her boyfriend. It's a new practice among teens that's come to be known as sexting. But when they broke up, she was betrayed, and that compromising photo was forwarded to the cell phones of hundreds of other teens. Jessie became the focus of ridicule and abuse.
She was being attacked and tortured, actually. by people. Things were being thrown at her.
Humiliated and frightened, last May, Jessie warned of the dangers of sexting by giving an interview in silhouette with her voice altered to NBC affiliate WLWT in Cincinnati.
Everything that your child is going to be doing as they get older revolves around their image and their reputation in social media. Colleges are now looking at your social media, aren't they? When you apply for the police department, when you take that application down to pass the Pinellas applicant screening service, they look at it and they go, oh, you have a Facebook account. Good, pull it up right now. We want to see it right now. And they screenshot everything. It's becoming more and more important. There was one girl that I read about that was on American Idol. She was doing great. They kicked her off the show because when they did data mining on her, they found a couple of shots of her topless that she had taken at a party drunk a few years ago. They booted her off because they said that won't work, because you know if she made it to the finals, those would come out. Something from a few years ago. So start thinking about some things, some protection things for them. There are apps out there. These are just a couple of them. There's a ton of them that you can just search it through the iStore or Google Play. Okay, just search for them and the apps will come up. There's a ton of them out there. Parents are sitting there going, "Oh, my kids, they don't have this. I don't have this." Well, after that, I do classes for the 4th, 5th, 6th grades there. How many of you have this? Probably 70% of the hands go up in each class. So either the people in my little presentation were not up on what their kids were doing, or I just happened to get the ones who, that extra little couple of kids that don't have it. I need you guys to, though, do some data mining on your kids. Google is your friend. I want you to go into Google. I want you to run a search on your child. First name, last name. Enclose it with quotation marks so that it will look just for that string. If you go Mary Smith and don't have that in there, it'll pull up every Mary, every Smith, right? If you put that in there, it'll look only for Mary Smith. Then I want you to go back through it and do last name first, first name last, just like you would do on an application. Because then those names will pop up differently. Once that is done, I want you to do the same thing to their email address. See what kind of accounts are out there. See what pops up from their email address. You will be surprised some of the things that you will find associated with your child's email address. Another thing that you can do, because it's kind of difficult to use some of these things, here's a trick. If you want to see if your child has, let's say, a Facebook page, if you do their first name, last name in the Google search, put a space, type the word site, S-I-T-E, like website, put a colon, and then put a website like facebook.com, Google will only search that site for that string.